Fletcher should have known. I mean, we all knew that wasn't going to last. That Moxley would give chase.
Yeah, you should never turn your back on Jon Moxley, even if you're his friend.
You found out the hard way.
In this very arena, as a matter of fact. Moxley with an generous lock.
Drove Fletcher's face into our announce desk. And I'm not sure that was by intention or by accident. Did so right in front of Bryan Danielson, but the power of Fletcher delivered the scoop and the slam on Moxley.
That scoop slam, Excalibur, was with ease.
We've talked about it numerous times. Kyle Fletcher has one of the best body slams in all of professional wrestling in Impact. And now he's really taking it to Jon Moxley.
Fletcher turned his glance for a moment. The AEW Continental Championship belt positioned here in front of our desk. Punch and chop delivered. Brian, you talked about the losses, the tap-outs that Jon Moxley suffered. I think throughout this tournament, though, maybe we've seen Moxley get his confidence back. And I think that's in large part to succeeding on his own merits, not relying on the Death Riders.
I would agree with that statement. I think he's gotten back to the Jon Moxley of old. I mean, look at this. Taking punishment, not afraid to take the punishment and dishing it right back out.
Hammer thrown to the corner, followed up. Clothesline Fletcher sent to the floor by Moxley.
Moxley's going to go out.
Moxley in pursuit of Fletcher. Very dangerous position for Kyle Fletcher.
With the elbow or the shoulder, I'm not sure, whatever.
And the hip of Fletcher most certainly striking the barricade as Moxley into the jaw of Fletcher, and then Fletcher once again falling into the barricade. Moxley just rolled underneath the bottom rope to break the referee's count. It is still a 10 count on the floor. Moxley, he could advance to the finals via a count out.
But you know Mox, he doesn't want to win by a count out. He never has.
He wants to be decisive. He wants to destroy his opponent.
Fletcher, elbow strike on the outside.
I mean, these two guys are two of the hardest hitters in all of AEW. These elbow strikes back and forth. So much impact. If I'm Kyle Fletcher, I don't think I want to stay on the floor. I want to get Jon Moxley in the ring.
He's trying to maneuver those steps. I think a lot of times.
Wow, the leg of Moxley.
Oh, that's going to change things.
Trapped in between the steps. Remember that injury that Moxley picked up? That was exacerbated throughout the tournament. Now, potentially could end not just the night, but end the tournament for Jon Moxley. Fletcher goes. Kept Moxley the leg sandwiched in between the steps and the ring post.
Bryce Rensburg doing all he can to get him back in the ring, but he's not finished.
Kyle Fletcher was taking his time early in the match. I think now is the time to press his advantage.
Well, let's recall a Christmas collision that he was against the clock in his final match with Jack Perry. He had to rush to get it done in that 20-minute time limit. About 19 and a half minutes, he got the win, but tonight there is no time limit.
Kyle Fletcher pulling off that victory just under the wire.
Yes, sir.
And now, attacking the ankle of Jon Moxley. We saw how heavily that ankle of Moxley, Brian, how heavily it was damaged by Kyle O'Reilly and their battle. That O'Reilly ended up winning, forcing Jon Moxley to tap out, but
you would have to think, to that point, Excalibur, you would have to think that Kyle Fletcher's been training with Josh Alexander.
Yes.
Another master of the ankle lock.
That's a great call.
fellow member of the Don Callis family is wrenching back on the leg as Moxley, see a little trickle of blood coming from the mouth of Jon Moxley.
That was more on the knee than the ankle, I would think. I guess it hurt every part of the leg.
Well, that reverse Indian deathlock attacks both the knee and the ankle.
Okay.
Fletcher swiping at the back of Moxley's leg with the kick, and again wrenching on the ankle. Is Moxley in trouble here?
One thing if I'm Kyle Fletcher that I'd be wary of is turning your back on Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley can cinch on that sleeper or bulldog choke from any position, so Kyle Fletcher just has to be careful.
Fletcher covers hooks the leg, but just a 2 count for Moxley.
Moxley was holding that leg, you notice that, and left the face open, and Kyle connected.
Fletcher, perhaps thinking single leg crab. Indeed he does. As Moxley flattened out, and Fletcher a bit surprised how well Fletcher has been able to dictate the pace of this match against Jon Moxley. Moxley, I'm not sure, but may have suffered a broken tooth. That's where that blood is coming from. I'm not sure if the camera's caught a look at that, but nonetheless, he was able to power his way out with those kicks. Answers with a cutter. Jon Moxley found that cutter just when he needed it most, and Fletcher doing a good job of trying to create some distance between himself and Moxley, but Moxley
On one leg.
hobbling, and the tope, but his leg got caught up on the ropes, and you saw Jon Moxley immediately clutching that left knee.
I think that dive hurt Jon Moxley just as much as it hurt Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, it was a mistake. I don't think there's any question. I think we all agree on that. But Moxley didn't give it a he's back on his feet. What a fighter.
But I mean, that's the kind of wrestler that Jon Moxley was when people fell in love with him. The guy who would push through pain, the guy who would do anything it takes to win. But look at Fletcher!
Michinoku driver, center of the ring. And if Moxley is somehow able to defeat Kyle Fletcher in this match, Tony, that means Jon Moxley will be going into a final round match with Kazuchika Okada on one leg, essentially.
With a bad wheel, absolutely. And I talked about this when we saw the first match. He's got to come back and wrestle again. For Jon Moxley, if he can get through this, it's going to be tough. Even for Kyle Fletcher, he's got to... Listen, I think there's plenty of this match to go.
Fletcher. Moxley out of the corner.
Not able to get the power that he usually gets with that clothesline. I think because of the damage to the ankle.
Oh, look at this, Moxley.
Brian, I think you've got the right of it. Moxley is not able to generate enough power with the damage to the leg. And instead, tucks underneath Fletcher and... Timing got him!
But even in hitting that clothesline, I mean, the angle of Jon Moxley's ankle, look at, if we can see it there. Oh, we can't see it in that replay. But the torque on Jon Moxley's ankle, even just delivering that clothesline.
Yeah, I think we saw at the end of it, the fans encouraging Jon to get up. Isn't it amazing where we were at the beginning of 2025, and now we see a smattering of fans. Look at this. Cheer for Jon Moxley. Look at
his ankle.
Just amazing.
Moxley trying to will himself on.
Listen, the fans behind it. The fans appreciate effort, regardless. And you get it from Moxley each and every time. Good God. Oh. I don't think Kyle's going to win the striking contest. Even Moxley with a bad wheel. Just my thought here.
I kind of disagree with you, Tony. I mean, there was a time when betting against Jon Moxley in AEW would be a fool's game. But Kyle Fletcher just hits so hard.
He did that time. You were right, Brian.
Moxley explodes out. Drop kick out of the corner. Bad leg be damned, Moxley. I think Moxley, the urgency perhaps setting in as he's got Fletcher lined up in the corner. And hammering down with those right hands.
Right to the temple.
Oh, Moxley hit hard on the apron. Look at this.
Awkward landing for Moxley as Fletcher shucked him off outside of the ring. And now Fletcher running the kick. Caught him. Moxley able to turn the momentum against Kyle Fletcher.
Desperation move that it worked. What is Moxley going to do here?
Moxley went for the stop, but instead Fletcher able to avoid it. Answered with a kick, and now
Kyle Fletcher is so dangerous on the apron.
Moxley's going to be done. Just roll into the ring. I can't believe he's sitting up.
the lights are on, but nobody is home for Jon Moxley.
Now Fletcher can just roll in the ring, I think, and win on the countout.
Fletcher, who's beaten numerous people with his brainbuster, just gave Jon Moxley the brainbuster on the highest part of the ring.
And Fletcher, Fletcher just demanded that referee Bryce Remsburg get back in the ring and begin the 10 count.
Smart move, get it over with.
A count out is just as good as a pinfall or submission for Kyle Fletcher.
And I would have to think Kyle Fletcher feels really good if he can win this match, because he beat Okada in the group stage of the Continental Classic this year.
With Moxley's not moving. He is completely stunned.
Got three.
Now finally rolls to his stomach.
A down.
And he's got a bad will. Can he get in?
And Moxley beats the count, but Fletcher on the attack. Fletcher more waiting for him.
Power bomb.
Left arm was not covered up by Fletcher.
No sharpshooter locked in.
Sits back. The single leg crab.
Danny, Kyle Fletcher, get Jon Moxley to tap out.
We've seen it more time in the last few months than we have in Jon Moxley's entire AEW career. Will he give up here tonight?
Behind Kyle Fletcher, I switch to the ankle lock.
Fletcher wrenching back from Moxley.
No, the bulldog choke. The bulldog choke.
Fletcher's face turning purple.
Kyle Fletcher fading. Does he have an answer? Does he have an escape?
And maybe able to get to that rope with that back leg.
Oh, you see, Kyle Fletcher's trying to grab Mox's ankle. And Mox had to let go.
Oh, there you go. There's the counter.
There he is, to the ankle lock.
Now the ankle lock.
Oh, but Fletcher doesn't have it all right.
He is reaching on it, though.
There he goes. There he has the proper grip.
But Jon Moxley. Oh, Moxley, can he make it to the rope? Can he make the escape? Oh, with Fletcher tearing apart the leg of Moxley. Fletcher wrenching at Moxley, swiping desperately, madly, trying to get it up to the ropes, but Fletcher.
Rope break by Moxley.
Jon Moxley. Holy hell.
You can see Jon Moxley didn't want to give Kyle Fletcher the satisfaction of making him get to the ropes, but he felt like he absolutely had to.
He did, buddy.
That is something I never.
No.
Something I thought I might never ever hear again is a crowd chanting in unison for Jon Moxley.
Especially after you think about the beginning of this year. Boy, things kind of changed in one match.
Fletcher, perhaps some frustration spilling out of Kyle Fletcher, the repeated stops to the face. Moxley breathing heavy. And Fletcher, though, with the advantage, deposits Moxley on the top turnbuckle.
And we've seen Kyle Fletcher deliver that brainbuster onto the top turnbuckle from the top rope. And Mox able to get free.
Moxley, boom! Biting Fletcher. Perhaps the last gas from Jon Moxley. He gets to his feet. Underneath Fletcher, he just sends Fletcher awkward landing on the top turnbuckle.
John needed a second to regather himself that time, and he did. Oh, you know what's coming up here, don't you?
Another bulldog choke.
Underneath the chin of Kyle Fletcher, but it's in the ropes. The submission would not count the nap position, but maybe he's trying to dim the lights just a little bit.
That's what he was trying to do.
Gosh, what is he going to do here?
The avalanche cutthroat suplex. Kyle Fletcher came down square on the top of his head.
Square on the top of his head. And you can see Bryce Remsburg, the referee, checking on Kyle Fletcher. I'm not sure we need, I wonder if we need more than Bryce Remsburg. We might need a doctor.
Oh, here it is again.
Look at
Brian.
this.
Oh
my God.
If he can, here it is again from another angle. Oh, that's the end of the rewatch. It's amazing that Fletcher is even trying to roll up and get up on his knees. Look at this.
Fletcher up to his own. Now drops down. Moxley. I think Moxley might smell the blood in the water.
Stop by Moxley.
Gentlemen, we are about 19 minutes into this match. The semifinals, of course, there's no time limit. Was it be a regular league match, we would be right at the time limit. But on it goes with these two warriors. I mean, on it goes. Look at this.
Jon Moxley, bad leg and all. Now looking for the cover. The leg of Fletcher's hook, but no, Fletcher taps. Crucifix. Oh! Fletcher somehow to his feet. Moxley. Fletcher counters a half and half. Knee strike to the jaw. The hands were down. Moxley on one.
This is incredible. The crowd is on their feet. How much does it mean to get two men to get to the Continental Classic Finals?
Here he goes.
Shield drop.
Brain busted. 1, 2, 3. Moxley denies Fletcher yet again.
How many people in 2025 have we seen Kyle Fletcher defeat without Brainbuster?
Have we seen a better start to a pay-per-view than what we witnessed tonight? These two matches.
Now, the question becomes, does Kyle Fletcher have the composure? Or is his confidence shook? Because perhaps his greatest weapon, as you observed, Brian, was not enough to put away Jon Moxley.
But Kyle Fletcher has more iterations of the Brainbuster that he can use. And we've seen him do it from the top rope. We saw him do it earlier on the apron. We've seen him do it from the apron through a table to the floor, putting out Kenny Omega. Adrian Heyman. Jon Moxley will not give up. He says, not tonight.
Defiant as ever, but he goes down hard on that one, Brian.
Kyle Fletcher didn't even need momentum for that clothesline. That's how out of it Jon Moxley is right now.
Again, I think it's amazing Kyle Fletcher's standing.
Fletcher.
Oh, that's the same turnbuckle corner that
O'Connor went to.
Oh, he is.
Fletcher's looking for the screwdrivers.
And
Kyle Fletcher looks confused.
I think O'Connor took it with him.
Oh,
Fletcher swinging on miss.
another bulldog choke.
Moxley drags Fletcher to himself. Fletcher counters. 2. Moxley forced to abandon ship and Fletcher.
Heretic of shift.
Cover him.
Kyle Fletcher. His turn to escape.
What is it going to
The Death Rider. And I'll never talk so.
The sleeper is in. The hooks are in. And now Kyle Fletcher in deep, deep water.
Look at his face. Look at the face of Fletcher. He's going to stay with him or not.
Deep trouble. What Kyle Fletcher has to his advantage is his length. If he can maneuver his body and get to the rope, he's got a way out.
But he's got Moxley on his back.
And look at his face turning purple.
Fletcher up to his feet. The power to carry Moxley up and now
Dropping.
Fletcher.
Oh my God, look at how tightly that's cinched in.
But Fletcher, his hands drop and
He might be out.
Fletcher, look at his face is completely purple.
Yes!